Hopefully this has worked for us. We've been in a bit of a mad panic rush this afternoon. Time just went away from me. That helps if you have me up there first, doesn't it? Oh, and you've got my hand in there. Ooh, take a deep breath and start getting around it. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our last, can you believe, last craft and chat with Honeydoocrafts of 2022. My goodness, where has this year gone? Anyway, so you've got a sneak peek of what we're going to be doing or using. If there's anybody watching, please pop your comments up so that we can see that you're there. And I don't think I'm talking to a computer, and it would be nice to talk to some other people. Love to hear what you're all up to for Christmas as well. So let's get started. So this is what we're going to be using. Hi, Sally Ann. So this is what I'm going to be using today. And this is going to be kind of like one of those last minute, oops, I forgot somebody's present kind of things. Or for somebody with a gift voucher, or just for, it's actually a really nice one to do for somebody for January at Christmas. Oh, January birthdays or whatever. So let's go in and take some of these bits off so that we can see what we're doing. So first of all, we are going to be using the Snowflake Flourish. This one we launched, I think it was last year we brought this one out, but it's a really, really handy one. Although it's got snowflakes on it, we don't all just have to use snowflakes for Christmas. Hi Kim, hi Leslie. You can use, I think snowflakes are ideal for January, because I don't know about where you're all living, but where we're living, it used to be usually January, February, March that we get the snow, not before Christmas. Although there's been some in the area. I haven't got a brand new packeted one of these, but we're also using our Christmas quotes. Hi Eileen, hi Linda. We are also going to be using our Honeydoocrafts Super Smooth cardstock. So we do this in the two different weights. We've got 300 GSM and 250 GSM. Hi Veronica. Moving this out of the way. We're actually doing this from home rather than the unit today because it's absolutely freezing at our unit. And the heating is just not keeping up. Lorraine, wet and warm. Let me tell you, it was -4 in our office this morning. Hope that makes you feel a bit better. Hope you're keeping well, Lorraine. We're also using our sticky glue, which comes in the two sizes. We've got the 120 and the 30mm. We're going to be using a Versamark ink, our anti-static pad. We're also going to be using embossing powder in Silver Sparkle and in Silver. Now the reason I'm saying it in the two is because we're using the Silver Sparkle for the main card, but this Silver is better if you're doing sentiments or words. Without the glitter are always much clearer if you're doing wording. And then obviously we've got some red tape, and we're going to use some gems. This is just some that we have, but whatever gems you've got floating around would probably work for this. So there are a few bits and pieces to this card. Carol, thank you very much for your custom this year. It's been fun, and now I'll never think of these videos the same again. For those of you that don't know, we're Carol's nighttime or bedtime watching. So Carol, wherever you're going, have a lovely afternoon. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too. So, right, let's get started. So you are going to need a card base, which is basically it's an A4 sheet of paper. Oh, thank you, Jan. Same to you. It's A4 sheet of paper, and all I have literally done is we've kept the width and we've kept the length. We're just going to score it. So this is just an A4 sheet of paper, so it'll be like a DL size. And then you will need 5 pieces of silver or whatever colour cardstock you want. We're using Silver Sparkly. I didn't take my mat down, can you tell? I'm going to fiddle with it all the way through this, aren't I? I'll smack my hands. So you're going to need 5 pieces of silver or whatever colour cardstock you want. I tend to match it up with my embossing powders. And they are in my usual awkward, and it's not me being awkward, it's because I work in inches and A4 sheets of paper are not inches sized, they're millimetres, so that's what makes it difficult. So it's each one of these pieces is cut to 8 1/8 that way, and 3 11/16 that way. Just work it out to the margin that you want it to be around the edge, the border that you want. Then we have also got 5 pieces of white cardstock. I can hear Martin in the background laughing about my sizes of cardstock. 5 7/8 by 3 1/2. Hi Lynn. Then you're going to need a piece of cardstock in white, and mine is 9 inches long by 1 1/2 inches wide. And then my sentiment piece is going, so this is, if you haven't worked it out, going to be a belly band. Silver is 3 3/4 by 1 3/8, and the white is 3 5/8 by 1 1/4. Now you're going to have to put that back and rewrite that, aren't you? So that's where we're at. So we will start with our cardstock, and we've got our scoring board. Now this scoring board has been discontinued, but a different company have brought out a very, very similar version. The only thing it doesn't have is this little compartment here, but it is a fabulous one because this has all your 1/4 inches, 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch and your inches written on top and side. It comes obviously with your scoring tool. It's got the enveloper on there, and on the back it tells you how your enveloper works and what you need to do to make your envelopes. Let me just whip that off for a second. Where are we? That one off. What you need for your different sized envelopes and how to make them. And then there's this fabulous little box down the bottom here, which will make a really nice little table box, or just to put a couple of little chocolates or some homemade biscuits in there. The light's bouncing off that, so I'm talking about it and you can't even see it. So it shows you how to do all of those different bits and pieces on there too. So it's a really handy little scoreboard. Those of you that have done our workshops will know that they're the types of scoreboards I use all the time and don't know how we've managed without them. So we are scoring at 3 7/8 straight down. Spin it round and score exactly the same, 3 7/8. And that will give you your fold. Now, it's not going to be an exact match up to the edge, but that doesn't matter because by the time you put your belly band around it and you've done all the bits and pieces. Hi Debbie. You won't even notice that bit, but because these are in inches and 1/16 of an inch, that's the smallest I can go, but it works perfectly for what I'm going to be doing. Just put these bits out of the way. Right, so that's your card base done, and we're going to pop that to one side while we work on the rest. So you're going to take your snowflake flourish. Trying to work out where my, there we go, let me clear these pieces out of the way. I'm going to take your snowflake flourish and Versamark ink, and we're just going to ink that up. Now remember, when you are inking a stamp up, put it on a hard surface and take your ink to your stamp, not your stamp to your ink. You'll get a much, much better and more even coverage of ink on your desk, or on your stamp. I'm watching my mat move around on my desk here. On your stamp, and it means you don't put so much pressure on. Although I'm putting quite a lot of ink on there, it's just lots and lots of little light taps all over it. Particularly with the Versamark, because it's a sponge based pad. It's a foam based pad. You don't want to be too heavy handed with it, because if you are, all your inks go into all those nooks and crannies. So I'm going to work this way up. So I'm just going to line these up roughly as close to the edges as I can, and I've gone with this snowflake up here and the big snowflake to get to the edges, and it will make sense in a minute. Hi Anne. How could you have forgotten us, Anne? So ink up, and what you should have done, and as I always say to you, do as I say, not as I do. Anti-static pad on here, particularly as we're going to be using a glitter cardstock. a glitter embossing powder on your cardstock. I'm going to ink this all up. Again, flip it over. And again, we're going to line those two up, but be cautious not to overlap this snowflake and this snowflake. I have to go silent when I'm concentrating. And we'll push those down. We will then, we're then going to use our silver sparkle embossing powder. Hi Michelle, you finished work so you can watch. Lucky you. So we're just going to pour the embossing powder all over that. And you don't have to rush to get the embossing powder on here. It is, Versamark is designed to stay open for a lot longer than a normal ink would for exactly that reason. So just pop your embossing powder on there. I'm just going to go back over that big snowflake. Give it a good tap to take your excess off. And pop all of that embossing powder back into the... My house is going to be covered in glitter this afternoon, a bit like everybody else's. That to one side, and you are going to repeat that for 4 of the 5 pieces of the white cardstock at this size. So you're just going to heat that up. As you know, I heat from underneath, but it's entirely up to you how you do this. But do mind your fingers when you're doing it from underneath. I'm trying to get it so that I can see what I'm doing and you can see the powder changing. And you can see it change from a solid to a... Now with the glitter cardstock, if you overheat it, you will lose the sparkle from the embossing powder, because basically you'd be melting the powder, the glitter. You obviously want to melt the powder, that's the whole idea of it. So be cautious not to overheat your glitter embossing powders. Gets hot under there. Yay, you can find that everybody can finally see it changing. That was quite difficult to get that working, but it worked anyway. So you're going to do that with 4 of the 5 pieces of cardstock. The 5th one, we are going to repeat it, but only once. So we only want it in one corner. So again, lots and lots of ink. Pop your image on there. This is a well-loved stamp, you can see. It's actually a clean one because I do tend to use this one more with the embossing powders, so it's the coloured embossing powders, so it's the embossing ink that I use. So it does tend to stay white, or clear, should I say. Back with our embossing powder. On there. Good flick to take the excess off, and I'm just going to quickly heat this out of the camera so I can do it a bit quicker and not try and focus in for everybody. got it all. So you're going to end up with one piece that's just in one corner. So just pop this out of the way. Right. So you are going to then layer your pieces up. Remember my little motto that I always try and build up as I'm going, because it saves a huge amounts of looking around for pieces that you've already done. So I've got the non-shed embossing or glitter paper here, but use whatever you fancy and line that up with your layered margin around the outside. Same again with these. I'm trying to get myself a little bit of space so I can see what we're working on. Obviously by using wet glue it gives you a little bit more wiggle room. If you are using tape, then maybe run a little bit of wet glue over the top of it just to give you that time to do that. So we're going to build this card up. So I've already stuck some down because you don't want to see me sticking cardstock down for the next 20 minutes. No, it didn't take that long. But so I've done 3, and then we're going to put the 4th one on. This is actually quite a nice card to do sort of in bulk if you need to for events, or make a nice wedding invitation or a wedding card, wouldn't it? A winter wedding card. Ooh, winter wedding card. Put a gift voucher in there or something. Very nice too. And this one, I'm putting it in this way up. But that is entirely up to you, because I had in my head that this was going to be a gift voucher. And obviously a gift voucher card, and obviously lots of people do gift vouchers now, and they do tend to come in like the credit card size, which this is exactly the right size for. It leaves you a little bit of room here to write what you want on there, but if you want, pop it in the middle and then it gives you more at the bottom. It's entirely up to you where you put these things, or even if you use it this way around, you don't have to do that. But obviously majority of them come on those little cards as well, so that's your choice as to what you do there. Looking for a pair of scissors here. So bear with me, I'm just getting a little bit of red tape to hold this in place so that we can put this together. Now obviously I have made some of this in advance, because to watch me stamp and emboss the same thing that many times, it doesn't want to come apart my red tape on me at the moment. We'll try again. I was trying to be clever and give myself a bigger piece, but that didn't work, did it? So you're going to pop your gift voucher inside your card, and I've just used a little bit of red tape to hold it there. Again, as I say, you can pop a sentiment in there if you want to. If you are going to put a sentiment in there, stamp it and emboss it before you stick it onto your glitter cardstock. So that would all fold together. Don't forget to put your little gems on. Now I chose to just put them in the centre of the big snowflakes, but if you want to go to town and put them all over, go for it. I think it just finishes it off a little bit. You could even make a little pocket, a nice matching pocket to go in there if you wanted to. But I just thought this is clean, simple, easy to do. You could do it while we sat in front of the telly, really, couldn't you? Bulk emboss, stamp and emboss these. So that would be your card all put together. Now your belly band. I haven't scored this, I just left it, because obviously depending on what you're putting in there will depend on the thickness that you need your belly band to be. you also got to allow to be able to slide over the top of those gems. Okay, so give yourself the room for that. Now I do hold a belly band together with red tape because it takes a little bit of a bashing usually. Got all quiet. So your belly band is on, and I do tape it down while it's on the card. It just allows me to work out where I want where I want it positioned, as far as taping it closed at the back. You can wrap that whole thing with the silver if you wanted to, but the silver's, this particular silver is quite, it will fight with you to bend around corners. And then your sentiment. So the sentiment, all I did, now you could go for a bigger piece and put in a bigger sentiment in the middle here if you wanted to. You could go for a piece that came off the top of your belly band. It doesn't have to fit in the middle there, but I've chosen to do one that fits in the middle. And I will take my Versamark ink again and just pop, I've got another sentiment on the back of it and it's not going to let me see it, is it? Pop that in there. When you stamp sentiments out, don't press too hard on the sentiment. The font is usually quite fine and you don't want to press hard, because if you do, you will push the ink out to the edges. You'll get embossing powder down the edges and a white bit in the middle. Nobody likes white bits in the middle. And nobody wants glittery cardstock either. Glitter in the non-glitter embossing powder. So I'm looking around trying to find a piece of card that hasn't got any glitter in it, which at this point in time is quite difficult to find. So again, pop your sentiment on, or embossing powder on your sentiment, light flick to take the excess off. If you feel you need to put a little bit more because you might have flicked a bit much off, pop a little bit more on. And then we're going to heat emboss that. Again, I heat from underneath because it gives you a smoother finish, but your choice. You do this however you're happy doing it. But also be very careful with this one because it's a small piece of paper. It gets quite hot. And if you wanted to, you could pop a couple of little extra snowflakes on there. It would look really pretty however you want to do that. So I know I had a few bits and pieces done ahead of time, but if you have forgotten somebody's gift voucher, or you bought somebody a gift voucher and you want to jazz it up a little bit or make it a bit more personal for them, because you can do their names or whatever on there, this is a really nice little way of doing it. It doesn't take loads of time up because none of us have extra time at this time of year now, do we? Pop your sentiment on there, and how nice is that as a gift? It's basically your gift voucher, a gift voucher wrapped up, isn't it? So you just take your sentiment, your belly band off, and open that up. Open up the right way round, and your gift card is tucked up in there. Pop your little message in there, and you are done. And again, that pops straight back on. Give yourself the room in your belly band to be able to get it on and off. So that was it. That was it. How easy was that? So I will just quickly run through what we used again, really quickly. All of them are available on our website. So I'll get rid of all my junk out of the way. I like collecting junk around. If you could see this table. Well, I can't see the table at the moment. So we've used silver sparkle embossing powder and we have used silver embossing powder. So the silver is for your sentiments without the glitter. The Honeydoocrafts sticky glue which comes in the 2 different sizes. So we've got the 120ml and the 30ml. Some gems, Versamark ink, and an embossing pad. That makes a huge difference, your embossing pad, really. I should use it more than I always forget when I'm doing the TV. You've probably all seen me on the TV as well. I always forget when I'm doing the telly and doing Facebook Lives, but you do need to use them. Snowflake flourish. So you get the larger flourish that you've seen me use now. You also, the snowflakes that are on here, we've got them in slightly larger sizes, and obviously this is this snowflake here. Okay. We've also used our Christmas quotes. This one says it has it's the most wonderful time of the year. Happy Christmas. It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. Happy New Year. Have a jolly holly Christmas is what's on your Christmas quotes. And then our base card was, or all of our white cardstock that we used today was the Stamping Super Smooth cardstock that we have. We do it in 250 GSM or in 300 GSM. So all of our, the whole card was done with that. So the base card was done with a 300 GSM, and then I used the 250 for all the other bits and pieces. We also obviously used our red sticky tape, red liner tape as well. I quite like the smaller rolls. You can get them in all different size rolls. You can get them in the bigger size rolls. The smaller rolls are quite handy with this one because it's super sticky, and it makes it a little bit easier to hold it. The bigger the ones aren't as easy to hold and control the red tape as the smaller ones are. Hence, we do the smaller ones. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too, Tina. We will be coming back. Let me just run back through it again. So this is what we did. Your belly card, your folding 3D DL card, which again is perfect for your little gift cards that are around. So everything we've used today is available on our website, honeydoocrafts@gmail.com. So you're going to get me back now. So there's a couple of little things we need to tell you about. I know lots of you are still waiting on orders from our Black Friday sale. This is completely out of our control, ladies and gentlemen. They have all been dispatched. Royal Mail are taking forever because of the strikes. So please bear with us. We are answering hundreds of emails a day on missing parcels. They are coming. They are eventually getting to their new homes. They're just taking a little bit longer than we all want them to. We are, for the last couple of days and for the rest of the run up to Christmas, we will be using Hermes to deliver everything. Oh, it's called Every now, lots of you. And you should get an email with your tracking number, so you'll be able to follow them as well. I think Wednesday is our last day in the office because that's the last day that we can send anything out. No, that's not the last day we can send anything out. Friday is technically the last day that we can pretty much hope that it will get to you, but we can't guarantee that at any point. So we'll just have to, fingers crossed, hope everything that is on order arrives to you in time for Christmas. So that's that little piece done. Now we want to say thank you all very much for everybody that supported us this year. It's been a tough year for all of us. We've had lots of giggles along the way. It took us a while to get started with the shows, but it's lovely to see everybody back at the shows. Our first show back at the moment next year is Sandown Park with Crafting Live at end of January. I think it's about the 23rd-ish of January. So wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. There will be lots of other bits and pieces coming out on our website. We've got lots and lots of goodies coming your way. If anybody's got any questions or any queries, please feel free to answer us or ask us. You can email us on honeydoocrafts@gmail.com. You can get us on our Facebook page, which is Honeydoocrafts. You can watch all of our videos back from the years gone by and recent Facebook Lives and YouTube Lives over on our YouTube channel as well. I think that's it. You can email us through our website as well. So any queries, please do not hesitate to ask. If anybody's got anything they would like us to demonstrate or are having difficulty with beginning of next year, we will be back the first week in January with our Facebook Lives, Wednesday afternoons at 2 o'clock. Hope lots of you can join us. Have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Enjoy the time you have with your family.